Good morning and welcome to the morning show. I'm Marshall Shore.
And I'm Melissa Farley. We're here at
the
fabulous Arizona Center.
Indeed it is. And you know what?
What?
It's my favorite day because it's Hump Day. Riding that camel.
I don't know why I always do this.
Well, because it's like you
Hump
think
Day.
you're riding a camel. Like in that big basket.
I know.
So, yeah.
So this is actually our second take for the morning because we forgot where we were and who we were and what day it was.
Exactly. And I had to go put pants on because I forgot my pants.
But I made a fabulous joke about Marshall looking like a petri dish, and now I feel like if I do it again, it's not going to be
It's like, oh, it just
authentic.
kind of like, that's so old.
What
That's
a
like
wasted joke,
that's like
I know.
5 minutes ago.
At least you got to appreciate it.
Indeed, I did.
Well,
So,
it is.
And I know something else you appreciate.
What?
That's right. It's word of the day.
I'm extra grumpy about it because once again, I don't get to rip the thing. You pre-ripped.
I was a little
Overeager?
rambunctious.
Yes.
So
Is this how you punish me? Is that your passive-aggressive way of
Yes,
like you
that's-
telling me you're mad at me? She cannot rip the thing today.
Here, you can rip those. How's that? Woo!
Okay,
It's like really
I feel a
large
little better.
confetti. All right, so our word of the day is acerbic. Sharply or bitingly critical, sarcastic or in tone and temper, mood or tone. I like the word acerbic.
Sassy.
Indeed,
little sassy.
would be
Yeah.
right there. All right, the humor, often self-deprecating, that pervades her acerbic take on contemporary culture keeps them from descending into mere cynicism. Oh, they need somebody helping these sentences.
You know, do you feel like maybe they need like a therapist? Like they're kind of just dark and down.
Well, I mean,
and-
it's like, I understand, and it's like, but how many people know descending into mere cynicism?
Mere cynicism. You know what though? Working as a journalist for however long I worked as a journalist, you're surrounded by cynics. And that is important, not to become just a total cynic of life, because
completely.
what a bummer. Like,
Right. Who wants to just be looking at the world through bitter glasses?
I know.
And everything's, how can that be? Oh, so.
That's
yeah.
why I said nobody really knew what to do with me in there, because I was like still pretty bubbly.
And bringing donut
Me.
holes.
Yeah.
It's like, here, have a donut hole.
I did.
What's in them? Is there hot sauce?
Oh shoot, I was going to share a fact and it's gone. It must update. So it was kind of in line with what we were talking about. I learned about the specific chemical that causes like sassiness and kind of like the,
So does that mean it's like a sassy pill?
well, there's not a pill, but it talks about how like your body when you're young, like when you're a teen, it generates a lot of this chemical. And so that's why teenagers can be really kind of like testy and just sort of mean almost.
Okay.
And then as you get older, you stop actually producing as much of that chemical. So if you ever meet a really sassy adult, it's like they're making an effort to do that. Like your body's actually chilled out, but they're like,
Oh, I know some pretty sassy people.
I feel like
So,
we both do.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe they're just teenagers at heart. Maybe their body hasn't quite.
Maybe it's a maturity thing.
I think that has a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
Because we're so both mature.
Obviously.
Yeah. I mean, just
I'm
look.
wearing feathers, you're wearing a petri dish. We are the
Exactly.
pinnacle
What
of
else says
maturity.
more mature than that? So.
All right, well, we've got a great guest ready to meet you all. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back after this.
Good morning and welcome back to the morning show. I am Marshall Shore.
And I'm Melissa Farley. We're here at
The
the
fabulous
fabulous
Arizona
Arizona
Center.
And we have a really wonderful guest here who's been
So laughing with us. I mean,
I know, I
that's
was
a great
gonna
thing.
say.
I mean, it's like just like dropped in and didn't even like, some guests are going like, what's going on with these two?
Oh, yeah.
And just stepped right up and.
Yeah, no, she's awesome. So we'll actually introduce you to her now instead of talking about it like she's not here. Yeah.
Right.
So we have Dr. Tara Coppola with Rising Phoenix Naturopathy. Did I say that right?
Naturopathy, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Ooh. So tell us exactly who you are, what you do.
So I'm a naturopathic physician here in Phoenix, and naturopathy is the medicine that uses the least invasive modes to help people heal themselves. And so that's what I do in the office. My whole philosophy is helping people heal from the inside out, getting to the root cause of illness. And I practice what's called vitalism. So vitalism is the belief in medicine that we have an inherent ability to heal, right? So if you think about it, when you get a cut, the cut will naturally heal. If you get a stomach virus, your body will do what it has to get rid of it, right?
Right.
So the body has an inherent ability to heal, and a lot of these signs and symptoms that we see are the body actually trying to heal what we're doing to it environmentally and with our lifestyle. So vitalistically, we give the body what it needs, we take out what the body doesn't need, and a lot of things can happen naturally.
Okay.
Sometimes we do need to come in with higher order things like prescriptions or other stuff to help suppress some symptoms, but it's always bringing the suppression, then helping the body heal through that, not just suppressing down.
Okay. Yeah, that was going to be my my next question. I was like, how do you not like talk yourself out of a job if like you're preaching that the body heals itself? Like, you know what I mean?
Well, I've talked myself out of a lot of jobs.
I think we both have done that as well. So, yeah.
It actually happens quite often. It's a mindset switch. So it's really about educating people and switching the mindset, because right now, in general, everybody's very conventional, right? You have symptoms, you have a headache. I want an Advil to get rid of the headache, right? Very conventional. I have a symptom, I want something to take away the symptom. But I want to shift people to being more vitalistic versus mechanistic. So more the body is working as an entire unit together, very intricatistically. We'll check that word on the word of the day someday. So it's working together. It's not just one piece doing something.
Right.
Yeah.
How does that work when people have, like, it's not just a headache, but maybe it's like 12 symptoms, you know, like how does the complexity kind of impact how you get to the root of things?
So I really love the complex cases. The majority of my patients are chronically ill or oncology patients, because I have a background in naturopathic oncology. And so with those complex cases, the body is really, it's basically screaming multiple various avenues to get you to listen, to get us to listen so we can pay attention and do something and change something. And each time we are not stepping up to the plate and giving the body what it needs, it throws out another symptom or another side effect, depending on if you're taking a medication that's causing side effects, and then you get a medication for that side effect, then a medication for that side effect. But what I do, I always start with the basis. You know, how is the food coming in? How is the water coming in? How is the environment? And then from there, I work into how is the mindset around this? Because a lot of these things, when we're dealing with chronic illnesses, really comes down to a maladaptive belief within ourselves that's helping to exacerbate these illnesses. If we're talking acutely, like I fell off my bike and broke my leg, that's a whole different story.
Right.
But when we're talking chronic illnesses, we do notice a correlation between like a maladaptive thought pattern that was ingrained in us that has kind of exacerbated symptomologies throughout our life.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense, because I have chronic migraine. I'm on an injection now that has really changed my life in that way. But before I was able to find a treatment plan, one of the things that I did a lot was actually work with a therapist who specialized in pain, because you don't think about it, but you actually add all this suffering on top of your actual suffering, because you get anxiety and you panic and you start telling yourself these narratives, you know, that make the pain worse. And so it's a real thing. Yeah.
The narratives we tell ourselves are so strong, so strong. I was working with a student the other day who was like, I can't remember anything. I'm like, you're learning a new skill. You know, it's hard, it's challenging, it takes time. But when we start saying, I can't do this, or I'm not good enough, or, oh, this is never going to get better, the mind is very strong. Very, very strong, you know, and it creates everything that we perceive, whether it be externally or internally as well.
Yeah. So, curious, have you read Becoming Supernatural by Dr. Joe Dispenza?
It sounds very, very familiar, but I do not think I've read it.
Oh, okay. I'm reading it right now. Well, I'm listening to it as I drive in, and it's a lot of kind of what you're talking about, and it's it's fairly new to me. So like some of it, the narratives and all that, I'm familiar with, but I'd be curious if you end up reading it. I'd love to know your thoughts. Yeah.
Absolutely. I will put it on the list.
Okay.
Of books to read.
Yay.
Yes.
So how did you get into this as your path?
Oh, do you want the short story or the long story?
Long story.
Long story. Okay, so my story starts with a loss. Back in 2003, I lost my father. And when my dad passed, I realized that if I didn't do something to change my life, I was going to end up dead at 52 as well. And I didn't want that for myself. I wanted a full life. I wanted to live life. I wanted to embrace everything. And so from there, I left some toxic relationship. I went back to school. I became a personal trainer because, we start physically, right? I'm going to help people get better in the physical realm.
Yeah.
and that's how it started. And so I went to school for human services because I wanted to study psychology to figure out how the mind worked. And then one of my personal training clients was like, why don't you study nutrition? I'm like, no, I don't need it. I'm a personal trainer. I don't need nutrition. I got this. But I applied to a school and they offered me a partial scholarship. So I went and started studying nutrition. I was going to be a registered dietitian. And very shortly into the education, I realized that they were not teaching us how to heal the body with nutrition. They were just teaching us how to do things in a hospital setting. And that's not what I wanted.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow, okay.
So I wanted to learn how to heal the body with nutrition. I literally Googled, who's the doctor that heals people with nutrition? And naturopathic medicine came up. I didn't know anything about it. I had never heard of it. And one of my professors was a naturopath, and I hope she doesn't watch this, but she actually told me not to become a naturopath. and I'm so bullheaded, I did it anyway.
Yeah.
So I double majored, finished the nutrition degree, pre-medical, and then went to get my naturopathic degree and did another master's in nutrition. Yeah, so it was definitely like a very nuanced, and things had taken me away from school, but I was always called back, and I was able to go back and finish.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, and like one of my favorite cookbooks is Healing with Food.
Yes.
And it's such a great thing because I love how simple the recipes are. There's not 52 things, and they're obtainable, and I understand what they are and what they're doing there.
Yes.
And so
It's absolutely amazing. Our food is the base, right? We're made up of what we put in us.
Right.
So our food is the base, just like our thoughts are made up of the thoughts that are inside of us. So we can't build from, I want to call them food-like substances.
Food adjacent.
Food adjacent.
Yeah.
So it's hard for the body to build because that's what we need to make our proteins, to make our cells, to make our hormones, all this stuff. And if we're not effectively fueling it, we can't make these building blocks and have a healthy body.
Yeah.
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 Well, and like you, it's like in college I realized first off I started living in a hotel where my cooking facilities were a microwave and a blender. So I became vegetarian. Mm-hmm. And also just kind of looking at things and realizing kind of the future of where my body was going. And so it made complete sense to try and kind of hold back some things.
Yes.
Just so that way my body would progress and essentially be able to heal itself. And I saw some people around me as their bodies were aging and they were trying to still live as though they were teenagers. Mm-hmm. And those narratives they were being told here, meanwhile their body was here, and it didn't typically go well.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and some people can do it, right? Some people just have that gift of genetics where they can continue to treat themselves like they were when they were 20 and they're like 60 or 80, Some people have that genetics. Everybody has a different constitution. I do think all people would fare better if we had a little bit better diet, just clean it up a little bit. But it's so critical, and it can be so simple, like pulling out the processed foods and just eating all whole foods. That can make a huge difference,
Because
or
there's so many chemicals and you don't know how your body is reacting to some of them.
Yeah, and then the liver and the kidneys have to flush it out. So the more chemicals you put in, the more they have to flush out. Not to mention that our body has to flush out all the chemicals that are just naturally in our world because of the society we live in.
Right.
And so that's taking a toll. It's affecting our endocrine system. It's affecting our our elimination systems, and it's just building up toxins in the body.
I'm being super quiet because I'm like, I know that this is something I probably need to do, at least for
Well, I
a
was
while.
thinking, I was like, I mean,
That's it.
have you looked into something like this? Because
I'm just so stubborn about about doing it. But I
but
know
you know,
that I need
we've all gone on those benders where you are super crazed, and so basically your dinner is a bag of potato chips because that's what's handy.
Yeah.
And how horrible you feel
Yeah.
because you're now in this crunch time, but also because you're just feeding in nothing but salt and fat.
Well, and I think that's, and again, I know this is an excuse, and but I'll say it anyway because I say it to nutritionists and other people that I've met with. I don't crave sweets. Like my body, I crave like salt, and like I just really want that. And I think what's been hard for me is when I try to eat cleaner or healthier, there's lots of, fruit is sweet, lots of things are sweet, and so it's like I can't find that like savory thing.
Are you salting your food?
Yeah, but then I try
And
not
how's your
to.
blood pressure? As we're sitting having a little intervention with Melissa right here.
No, it's not. It's not bad.
Okay.
But so I have a kidney disease. I have lots of health issues, and so like, the one thing that I probably haven't tried is a full commitment to a nutrition approach. And I don't. It's not going to like take away my polycystic kidneys, but it will allow my kidneys to work not as hard. You know.
Yeah, give them like a
So.
little bit of breathing room.
Yeah.
So they can just be like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
I can do this. Yeah. And it's with the cravings. Yes, some people do salt, some people do savory, some people do sweet, some people have a whole blend of cravings. Typically, the physiological craving, once you take that food out, is usually about 24 to 48 hours. Above and beyond that, it's a psychological craving that we're dealing with. So then we're talking, okay, what's the mindset? Like, what is your mind telling you to make you want this, and what's it filling for you?
Yeah.
So almost like what's void that you're filling with that kind of food, and so it's a talk around that as well. And usually at about like 3-4 weeks, you kind of stop having that psychological craving. So if you can get through that first month, you're golden.
Okay, I gotta make it through
Yeah.
a month. Because I know it's comfort for me.
Yeah.
So like as a child, I had a kind of a weird upbringing, and so food was that thing that kind of gave me the quick like feel good response. So now whenever I get stressed or overwhelmed or whatever, I crave that same response. And so I know that's what I'm doing, but I haven't like broken it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when you're ready, it's there.
Yeah.
Like, all the information is there for you when you're ready. You just have to be ready for it. Because like those childhood things, like you talked about, are really hard to heal and to get to the core of. And everything within us is a protection mechanism, right? Our body, our psyche is trying to keep us safe. It's trying to keep us alive because that's what it wants. It wants life.
Right.
And so all of these, I call them maladaptive coping skills. All of these maladaptive coping skills were created to help keep us safe, right?
Yeah.
When we're kids, we only have so many tools. And so we're doing the best we can to keep our little bodies safe and secure and make us feel secure in an environment that's not secure for us.
Right.
And so all of these tools that we have pulled into our adult lives are not bad. They just are. And we have the capacity to do something different when we're ready to choose to do so.
Well, look at me. I'm actually getting inspired. Yeah, this was good.
Well, and also there's always that stigma. I mean, it's like, I know I've tried to cut sugar out, and it's like being in the house with an Italian and trying to cut out sugar is not going well because it's like, I'm having this lovely dessert. What are you having? Oh, nothing? Oh, nom, 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 nom.
I don't know if that's an Italian thing.
It's vicious.
Maybe a Sicilian, I don't know.
I don't think that's not what was being said, but that was the narrative.
That's what it feels like.
That's what was
Yeah.
going on in my head, where it's like, I'm having cookies and you're not.
He's eating a cannoli. Yeah.
With
Napoleon.
with ricotta cheese,
Yeah.
cannoli.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
there are ways to make snacks that are a little bit more healthful, right? One of the things that I'm a fan of is like an chocolate avocado pudding.
What?
Chocolate avocado pudding.
Those were not things I would think to put together.
Yeah, so it's really simple. It's basically avocado, cacao, maybe a little bit of, like, I use stevia or monk fruit to sweeten it up a little bit more. You just blend it on down and you got yourself a
So
sweet
my
pudding.
question with that, okay, so do you use the avocado that I can go to Albertsons and get? or like there is, I don't even know from what country, but there's a larger avocado that is less, has a much milder flavor than avocado.
I think it's more, when it's flavor, it's depending on the person. Like, what flavor do you like? It's because avocado is going to have so many healthy fats, whether you get the large one or the small one. The nuance of the flavor is not really going to matter that much. There is a whole like world of nutrition where we're talking about organic versus factory farmed, and the concerns with that, and the concerns in the environment. And sometimes when we're talking about more healthful foods, they have a tendency to be a little bit more expensive. So it's also accessibility. What's accessible to us?
Right.
If what we have is an avocado at Fry's, then go to Fry's and get an avocado. At that point, it doesn't have to be. You don't have to be that rigid.
So don't be the Martha Stewart, like, okay, you've got to use this one thing that's super hard to find.
No, that's not life.
See, and I think it's interesting because, like, when I did really well, and I think I talked about this before. It's when people tell me exactly what to do. So like when I had a nutritionist basically prepare me like, here's your 7-day-a-week meal plan, eat these things. Like I did great. But then when somebody's like, oh, try to eat this portions and this, and I'm like, I'm not gonna choose well. Like I can't be trusted to my own devices, and that's where I think I've been struggling lately because I've been trying to kind of still eat what I like to eat, but then add in some kind of healthy choices. But you just kind of feel like you're failing if you're not doing it.
All of it?
Like committed. Yeah,
and no, you're not failing. Not in the least. Every small step forward leads to big changes in the long run, and there is like an all or nothing kind of mindset, and some people do need more specific diet plans and more specific meal plans. That's individual to the human, right? And if that's what you need to be successful, then that's what you need to be successful. My question would be, is that do you need that to be successful because you're in a black and white mindset and you have trouble living in the realm of gray? Because that's where we would kind of like, I'd give you the diet plan, but that's where we would also talk about living in that, because our world is gray. That's what it just is.
Right.
I think it's one of those things where I have so many other decisions that I feel like I need to make. I don't want this to become a big decision. You know what I mean?
I hear you.
Like I just want the ease of
Ease
not
of use.
thinking about it.
Ease of use. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I get you.
Well,
But-
also I think, and also in some is that's like the cultural. I mean, it's like you can go to McDonald's, or you can go to a restaurant where everything is made from scratch.
Right.
And so, I mean, and there very much is an access point of view in that because one has a dollar menu, the other does not.
Right.
And so, but there's trade-offs for that.
Yeah, there are. Yeah. Well, this has been a really good conversation. I feel actually motivated and inspired, I think, to dive in again. So that's been cool.
Love that.
I know, I'm kind of like going, a chocolate avocado.
I know. I was very.
I was like, we don't have a blender on set.
We should try that on Monday.
I think that's a great idea.
Will you let people know where they can learn more about you and follow you or work with you?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So my website is www.risingphoenixnaturopathy.com. I do some social media unsuccessfully, but I am on Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn. I have a newsletter that I put out where I give like monthly tips about naturopathic healing, and I do a monthly recipe as well. And also I have monthly talks that I give virtually. So we'll talk next month. Sometime in June, I'm going to be talking about environmental health in the home and how we can make small changes around the home to overall increase our health.
I love that. Well, we'll be signing up for the newsletter. Look forward to your virtual talks. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah.
This is amazing.
Well, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back after this with things to do, celebrations, birthday. No, we don't do birthdays anymore.
No.
That's gone.
No.
But we'll have some history for you.
Exactly. We'll have our usual shtick.
Yeah.
Good morning and welcome back to the morning show. I'm Marshall Shore.
And I'm Melissa Farley. We're here at the
Fabulous Arizona Center. Indeed.
We're happy because somebody brought us tweets. Tweets. I said tweets. Treats. That's how happy I am. I can't even talk right.
It's like, oh my gosh. I'm surprised you can just talk, your mouth is not full.
I know. You want to see Melissa and Marshall just ecstatic? Give us food. It doesn't take a whole lot.
It does not. It doesn't even have to be good food.
Well, you're pretty discerning.
Well,
I, on the other hand, am a garbage disposal.
Depends on the mood and the...
Yeah.
So...
Today you're just like, whatever.
Exactly.
Right
Whatever.
after we have a nutritionist and we talked about...
Then we have some unhealthy things. So there you go.
You know, that's how we roll.
Indeed. So, you know, let's talk a little bit of history.
Let's do it.
All right. So back in 1931, there were U.S. Border Patrol agents. They were digging a water line.
Okay.
And they found a big hunk of bone.
Bone?
Bone.
Okay.
And so they basically called up at University of Arizona and discovered that it was a mammoth bone.
Oh, cool.
Were discovered. And so it brought together just the fact that they also found near it were tools and things, so they assumed that it had not just died on its own, but it had been consumed as well.
Oh.
So it had been hunted and was now, and that was kind of a groundbreaking technology of realizing that somebody had hunted and tracked
yeah, okay.
and enjoyed a mammoth burger.
How, I mean, I guess if you're, yeah, okay. I never thought of them as being eaten, like hunted.
So yeah, and so it was really a changing moment, and so, and also changing the timeline for human presence in the Southwest.
Yeah.
As well. So, and so, you know, if you want to learn more about kind of dinosaurs, things like that, you can go visit the Natural History Museum out in Mesa.
Yep.
They have all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
I was out there the other day. I didn't get a chance to go in; they were already closed. But I'm like, oh, we should try and get somebody from there on. That would be fun.
We should. Yeah, it's really cool.
I think I can. Maybe make that happen.
I bet you could.
So
With your history connections, Marshall.
Indeed.
Well.
All right. So
I'm ready to celebrate.
Let's celebrate.
Let's do it.
Indeed. All right, so today is National Juice Slush Day.
Juice Slush Day.
And so at first I just thought it was Slushy Day, which kind of got me
looks
excited.
yummy. Yeah,
But
so this is different than just a regular slushie.
it is different than just a regular slushy. So basically it is fruit and water. Basically it's kind of almost like a melted snow cone type thing.
Oh.
So, or even like frozen spa water.
Spa water.
So.
I just got a massage yesterday. I enjoy some good spa water.
Ah, see, very nice. So you can put as little as much fruit in it as you want and enjoy away.
Well, what a refreshing thing for May. That's a good idea.
Exactly. It's starting to get a little warm out, so you know you want a little bit of hydration, a little bit of natural from our naturopath.
Yeah.
So
I do that with I get the miniature watermelons and then I turn that in. Yeah. Ugh, I love that.
Now today we're also celebrating National Memorandum Day. Well, actually Memo Day. Memo Day, which is short for memorandum.
I know.
And so, I mean, usually seen in an office setting, memos provide a variety of purposes, whether it's communication or something now sent in an email or a recorded form, but primarily for business. But you know, it's become just kind of a common verb.
None of us have real jobs. So when's the last time you got a memo?
Well, but being a gig performer, you do get memos. It's like, oh, it's like be sure and blah, 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 blah. So.
Okay. All right.
And so.
Is an email the same thing as a memo? What constitutes something as a memo versus another form of communication?
Well, I think it's like memos became more popular before there were all these other, because used to, it's like there was the typewritten.
Yeah.
It's like memorandum, and then there would be all this communication that would happen, and so it's an old term.
Okay.
But I think so now that the physical form of a memorandum or memo has been replaced by other things.
Okay. All right.
So
really,
and then you also have a memo pad.
We're
which
celebrating something obsolete.
Well, it still happens just in different ways. I mean, I can still get a sticky pad that 3M says a memo pad.
Yeah.
So it's just a word that over time the structure of it has changed.
Okay.
So, and today is also International Tea Day.
Ooh, yum.
So it's a chance to just celebrate and become aware of global tea, which is, I didn't realize, it is the second most consumed beverage behind water.
Yeah, I could see that.
And so,
Yeah.
and so I actually brought a treat for us.
You did.
So I kind of thought, with kind of fruit slushy day and tea day. So this is, I've got friends who are like, this is like the newest thing from Asia right now.
What?
And so it is juice tea.
Okay.
So this is orange juice green tea.
Orange juice green tea.
And so it's like there's this, I think there's 3 or 4 of them around the valley, and you just go and there's all these different juices and all these different teas, and
Okay.
they mix them together, and there's usually like a line out the door.
Oh, that's fun.
And then also all the Uber Eats.
Okay.
Just coming in, picking up big
Juice
boxes.
tea.
Yeah, juice teas.
Okay.
So
Let's try it. Have you already tried this?
I have.
Okay. Oh, I like that.
Mm-hmm. I think it feels like it's got a little bit of jasmine in it.
Yeah.
And so, but yeah.
That's really nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yay, juice tea. I tried something new today.
Exactly.
I like that a lot, actually.
Yeah.
It's like the longer it stays on my palate, the more I enjoy it.
And there's so many also different flavors. I mean, within the tea that are popping out. And so,
Well, thank you.
You
that
are
was
welcome.
delightful. I really like that.
You are welcome. Now, this came from De Young's Tea, which is a Taiwanese style tea shop. It's a local chain around town. They've got one in Chandler, Tempe, and also North Phoenix. You can also learn about tea from the Japanese Friendship Garden. They have the whole tea ceremony
They
there.
do.
Or even in Tucson, 7 Cups Chinese Tea House.
Yeah.
Which is a lot of fun to go to as well and have something. And on the more decadent side, today is strawberries and cream day.
Oh, yum.
So I chose orange juice tea instead of.
We did have strawberries.
We had strawberries just a few days ago.
But we didn't
So-
have the cream part.
No, we didn't have the cream, and I didn't feel like making fresh whipped cream.
That's fair.
And so.
That's like Pat's favorite thing in the whole world.
Oh,
it's like real whipped cream. Oh my goodness.
Well, yeah, because I mean, it tastes so good. And
Yeah.
I love the fact that if you make it at home, you can basically just make it the right level of sweetness for whatever you're putting on it.
Yeah.
So.
See, I could take it or leave it, whipped cream. But Pat's like,
But you can also do almost savory. I mean, I've basically made whipped cream with no sugar and put some booze in it.
oh, interesting.
Yeah, it's like a little bit of cognac in there.
Okay. That intrigues me.
And so,
Okay.
So almost savory.
I would give that a
whipped
go.
cream. So,
Yeah.
oh,
Yum,
maybe
yum.
we'll put some of that on top of our the healthy versus the non-healthy.
Yeah.
So, all right. So there's some things we can celebrate. Are there things we can do around town?
We have John Wick Trivia Night at the Sugar Bar Craft in Chandler at 7 p.m. You can join in for an action-packed trivia night centered around everyone's favorite retired hitman, John Wick. The top 3 teams will win a prize. You can come out and show everyone what you've got. Are you a John Wick fan, Marshall?
Well, I was thinking, do they get a hit put out on them? That's what they get to win? It's like, I don't think I'd want to win that.
That's pretty high stakes. Yeah, I don't know about that.
I don't know that answer. Oh, no, nobody knows that answer.
Just a heads up, this is a 21 plus trivia event and there is no cover to join. So that's kind of a good thing to know. We've also got the Royal Tenenbaums film showing at the Phoenix Art Museum at 6 p.m. You are invited to celebrate the remarkable career of Gene Hackman with a screening of the Royal Tenenbaums. Hackman, who's a versatile actor who graced the screen for nearly 50 years, captivated audiences across diverse genres. In this film, he delivers an iconic performance as Royal Tenenbaum, the estranged patriarch of a once extraordinary family. It's hilarious, touching, and a brilliantly stylized study of melancholy and redemption from, of course, Wes Anderson. So this is from 6 to 8 p.m. at the Phoenix Art Museum. I love when they do film screenings there. Right. It's only $8, so pretty sure it's cheaper than a regular movie at this point to go to the Phoenix Art Museum for a film.
And you get to see other art as well. So
that's true. Yeah, really good stuff there right now, too. And we have, for theater lovers out there, Into the Woods is at Phoenix Theater at 7 p.m. So this is a very classic story. It's the opening night of Into the Woods, so there's tons of twists and turns, lots of really cool musical numbers. If you watch the movie, you saw Meryl Streep as the witch. But it's long, friends. I'll just give you a heads up. This is like a 3-hour show, especially with an intermission. So if you're planning on bringing kids, just know that this is kind of an
I think if you're
intense
planning
one.
on bringing food, bring lunch.
Or someone like my husband who just can't sit still. Yeah.
Ah.
And it's an interesting play because musical because it's like the first half is kind of really funny and light, and then the whole second half is like a big downer.
Right.
Yeah. So
not so happy and light.
Yeah, but it's a great show.
But very Sondheim.
It is very Sondheim. It is running through July 13th, so you've got plenty of time to catch another performance. But it is always kind of fun to go on an opening night or a closing night. Mm-hmm. And tickets start at $72. You can pick your seats.
And you might not want to wear your fur to the opening night.
No.
Might be a little toasty out.
A little toasty, yeah. Also, you might attract the wolf, and who knows what would happen then.
And then there'd be no no musical because
no
the wolf.
Musical.
Yeah.
We've got 40 years of Foley celebration at the Phoenix Center for the Arts at 8 p.m. I don't have any idea what this is, so I'm just going to read the words. Mick Foley right there. Mr. Foley's baby boy returns to the stage with his all-new one-man show. Wrestling's finest storyteller is back for his first tour in 3 years. Mick has assembled a brand new show featuring stories throughout his legendary career, with the show concluding with a 45-minute Q&A session. So this is the ultimate experience for any Foley fan or anyone who is interested in the stories that are being told. Doors open at 6, show is from 8 to 9:30, and tickets start at $40. So wrestler Mick Foley, I guess.
Oh, I was like, what's he known for? What kind of stories? It was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh.
So more Little My Speed, chamber strings at the Mesa Arts Center at 7:30 p.m.
Oh yeah, he was a wrestler.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
From Bloomington, Indiana. Well, there you go.
Well, there you go. No wrestlers at the chamber strings.
No.
So you kind of got to take your pick: wrestlers or string music.
Right.
But basically, the concerts are curated by the musicians themselves, and then each concert features an ensemble performing a variety of musical numbers, and it's just really to celebrate the rich history of chamber music. This is also at 7:30 p.m., and tickets start at $49. So there you go, something for everybody, from wrestling to chamber music to John Wick.
Exactly. To getting a hit put out on you.
Oh my God! Nobody's getting hits put out on them. Marshall just really likes
Well,
that idea.
no, because I've recently been talking mafia history. So that's
you're
why
on brand right
I'm
now.
on brand, so
Got
it's kind
it.
of like,
Okay.
you win this trivia game and we're going to get you. You know too much.
Wow. All right. Well, be careful hanging out with Marshall lately.
Yeah, but it'd be like a Nerf gun,
Yeah.
a rubber band
Oh,
gun.
okay.
Yeah, so it wouldn't be.
Actually, that would be kind of fun. We should start a challenge here in this studio. I feel like Brandon would win.
I think Brandon would
anyway,
win.
Brandon wouldn't win that.
Because he would just come out of the studio rolling and
I know.
And we'd be gone.
That's what I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, if you survive and don't get a hit put out on you, we are doing 602 Day on June 2nd.
And
right
from,
here.
From
Yep.
5 to 9 and 400 East Van Buren. So there's going to be all kinds of fun going on.
Yeah, we're on actually the 11th floor of 400 East Van Buren. Beautiful 360 view of the entire city. There's going to be vendors, performances. We're doing a live show. of
Phoenix
the morning
Magazine's going to be
show.
there with a photo booth. So
Yeah.
it's going to be so much fun.
Yeah, and it's just a chance to meet cool people and see some cool stuff and celebrate Phoenix. So we hope to see you there.
Indeed.
And if you have any events, celebrations, birthdays, anniversaries, anything you want to send us,
We'd love to hear from you about any of those things.
we sure would. You can email us at hello@onthemorningshow.com or hit us up on Instagram at onthemorningshow.
And and every time Anne gets an email from a viewer, she does an amazing little dance that's so cute.
Cute. Oh, that's what we're calling it. Cute. Okay. There we go. I'm watching it right now, and I don't know that I would call that cute. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us on this hump day. We will be right here back with you on Thursday morning. We've got a really cool episode, actually, for you coming up on Thursday. So
you want to listen in.
You don't want to miss it. Yeah. So, all right, friends, have a great Wednesday.